You can't play Leeds every week, Antonio. It was always likely that Saturday's 4-0 stroll at Elland Road was something of an illusion when it came to assessing the return to form of Antonio Conte's Tottenham. We should have known they would revert to type against a team with a degree of competency, not to mention superior spirit. For Burnley last week read Middlesbrough this, both 1-0 victors against a Spurs side whose white shirts were the same colour as the flags they might as well have waved in pursuit of their first trophy in 14 years. Chris Wilder's Borough ran further and faster than their Premier League opponents and deservedly booked their place in the last 8 when teenage substitute Josh Coburn smashed the only goal in the second half of extra time. Spurs, though, were poor, reverting to the clueless bunch who had lost 4 in 5 before their weekend reprieve. Conte came into this game claiming his threats to quit last week were a strategy designed to bring about improvement in his team. Likely story. It was as calculated as a toddler tackling algebra. The Spurs boss, rather, was in a huff following defeat at Burnley and only victory at Leeds restored his rationale. But if Conte was to maintain the idea that his motivation was to impart a winning mentality on his players, naming a weakened team here would not tally, especially as the competition was their only hope of silverware. That is why Spurs were at their strongest, unchanged from Elland Road. Not that you would have known as they failed to register a shot on target in the first half. To think, they were 3-0 up after 27 minutes at Leeds. Matt Doherty should have scored for the visitors when rounding the stranded goalkeeper Joe Lumley but skied over the crossbar. Wilder had challenged his players to prove they could compete with top-flight opponents, referencing what he did at Sheffield United by turning a team of Football League journeymen into Premier League stars. They certainly answered his call, making mugs of Spurs in every department. Harry Kane, outstanding on Saturday, was having trouble simply standing up here. One routine chance to control and turn in the first half ended up with his slipping on his backside, much to the enjoyment of a sellout crowd. His second half began with a similar episode of ignominy. With Lumley's gloves braced for their first involvement of the evening, Kane sized a free kick 20 yards out.